Hi, it's Claire from the Yoga Chapel. Welcome to day 7. Today we're learning about Tadasana, or sage pose, or seated twist. Okay, we're going to get into the warm-up. So we're going to come into our center of our mat, finding that Tadasana, or that mountain pose. And I love to lift my toes, so bringing my feet hip-width distance apart, lifting up my toes, finding the four corners of the feet, pushing down through the heels, pushing my thighs forward to bring my calves back, slightly bending through the knees, dropping the bum, moving up through the spine, dropping the shoulders back and down, hands to the side, heavy through the hands, and then the chin parallel to the floor, looking forward. Dropping the toes down if that's more comfortable, then closing the eyes when we get that little bit of a movement, tapping into that belly button to spine. Let's stay here for 3 long breaths. Just coming into the room, grounding through our feet, finding our practice. Sometimes I find mountain pose really energizing because not only am I pulling up the energy from the earth, I'm getting the energy from the universe or the sky and meeting kind of in the heart center, giving me that nice balance. Take a deep inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. And then let's just shake it out. Shaking out the legs and the arms. We're just going to sway back and forth. So bringing our feet a little bit wider than hip width, bending through the legs, and just coming into a nice sway. Starting to warm up our spine for those twists that's going to come. Maybe got some music playing. Okay, wonderful. And then bringing our feet about hip-width distance apart, bring our hands onto our hips. We're just going to slightly tip to the right, coming through center, slightly tipping to the left. We're starting off slowly, trying to warm up that spine, the midline. One more time. Let's add our hands to it this time. Inhaling our left arm up, pushing our hand into our right hip, pushing over to the left. Bring our left arm up and over, keeping our chest relatively straight, head in line. Deep inhale. Exhale brings you up. Both hands up. Drop the left hand to your left hip, pushing your hips to the right, bringing your right arm up and over. Inhale deep. Exhale, coming through center. Pausing with our hands above our head. Inhale first. Exhale, release the right hand. Exhale over to the right. Inhale back through center. Exhale to the left. And let's just do 2 more on our own breath. Keeping those feet planted to the ground. Squeezing the bum if you want to. Really accentuating. Maybe noticing that you're coming a little bit further than you did when you started. Just the last one over to the left. Coming back through center, dropping the hands to the side, feet a little bit bigger than hip-width distance apart, and then just swaying your arms from side to side. So now we're moving into more of that twisting through the spine, still starting off pretty easy. Maybe laying your hands, tap those kidneys, keeping those bend in the legs, curling the sides of the mouth up to that big smile. Okay, then we're just going to come to the floor, do a little bit more of the exercise before Joan comes in and teaches a little bit more in depth. Let's bring our legs into a V position, moving the flesh of the bum back. And then I want you to sway from side to side. Just bring your hands up and down your legs, giving yourself a little massage. Oh, feeling our back lengthening from side to side. Okay, wonderful. Coming back through center, planting through those heels, sitting up tall, pushing through our sit bones, bring our hands onto our knees, and then closing the eyes just for a pause. Letting our nervous system come into this pose. Wonderful. Dropping our right forearm to our right thigh. We're just going to slowly twist to the left. Looking over to the left, keeping those heels pushing into the floor. Coming through center, drop the left forearm to the left thigh, looking over to the right. One more time, just like that. Coming through center, dropping the right, looking over to the left. And one more time. Beautiful. Coming through center, bring your legs together into a seated position, whatever feels comfortable. Moving that flesh the bum back. And we'll just add on to our little bit of twist, but we're first going to do our little belly rolls. We're going to start just slowly moving around that spine. So keeping everything erect in the spine as much as you can, pushing through the sit bones onto the floor, using your hands on your knees to just help you rotate to the right. Starting off small to begin with. Moving through center, let's start moving to the left. So this time we're just keeping the spine as straight as we can to move around. Wonderful, coming through center and swaying from side to side. And let's do our belly rolls. 3 to the right and then 3 to the left. Inhaling forward. Exhale, rounding through the spine back. Coming through center, swaying from side to side. And then let's move to the left. Inhaling forward, exhaling back. Coming through center. And just one little more exercise before Joan comes to meet us. Dropping our right hand to the floor. Inhale our left arm up. Exhale, drop yourself to the right. Just like that we did standing, inhale our arms up. Drop our hands to the left. Drop over to the left. Inhale back through center, and just one more time. Dropping your hand to the right. Maybe you can get your forearm to the floor. Don't have to. Back up through center, and one last time. Beautiful. Back through center, dropping your hands to your knees. Shoulders back and down, belly button to spine. That's awesome. So we can't wait to get Joan into the picture. So let's get Joni in.
Thanks, Claire. That was a good warm-up. And warm-ups are really important. I just want to emphasize that for certain poses because we're going to come into the twist, Marichyasana, which means sage pose. It's one of the key foundations is a twist. That being said, Usually you'll see a twist in a sequence when I create a twist sequence, or you see a yoga sequence, that it's somewhere near the middle or right at the end, right? It's a good closing position. The body is warm, you've given the body time to breathe, and then with the breath, we can find a depth of the rotation of our spine. Rotations with the spine are really important. That gives us longevity. Our spine is everything. So if we can articulate the spine the best we can, it gives us this youthfulness. So twists are like super, uber important. However, we need to kind of warm the body up before we can get into the depth of them. So just notice that as kind of like pin that in your mind. Try not to do a twist really cold. Warm up the body a little bit with the basic warm up before you get into one. Another key with twists, they're really good for digestion, but we'll get back into that in just a bit. I'm going to get Claire to face the wall. I'm just going to show you a couple of angles before we get into it, because they're hard and subtle little tweaks I want to kind of, that I see a lot when I'm teaching. Dandasana, so if Claire takes her legs out, which she has them, Dandasana is our foundation position. Hips kind of squared forward in line with the shoulders. Coming into a Sukhasana, or a simple seated position, she's going to cross her legs. Good. So where we're going to start with the seated twist. Hips are squared in line with the shoulders. Now the tricky part is, and I'm going to get Claire to turn her back to face you now. And I'm just going to get her to do a twist towards the right. Okay. Now notice how perfect her shoulders kind of came with her. Let's keep the head in line so the neck comes after. But it's the pelvis I want you to kind of look at. What starts to happen, so we'll come back to neutral, and she's going to overemphasize this. She's going to turn towards. And notice how that whole left side moved with her, right? Not only the shoulder moved, but she's kind of pulling the hip. Let's come back to center. So when we think about a twist, I want you to think about a spiral staircase, right? It has a post in the middle, so something's grounded at the base and something's grounded at the top. And from that, we spiral or corkscrew all the way up the staircase. The same is with the seated twist, is that we want to ground through the pelvis. So we're trying not to lose the hips. And the rotation comes from the articulation of the muscles around the spine. So Claire's going to lift the arms up. She's going to drop them in line with her shoulders. She's going to twist the chest towards the right. And she's going to pause. She's going to keep rooting this left hip down and back, so not shifting through the hips. Drop the left hand towards the knee. Drop the right hand towards the ground. She tense. Now here's another key. You're going to inhale, lengthen the body, find space. And it's on the exhale that you find a deeper rotation around. To your edge. Remember, we're still kind of warming the body up, so you don't want to wrench. You don't want to torque the body. You're trying to find the body release easy and easier and easier to our range of motion. Good. And to release, we take a breath in. Exhale, she comes back to center. Good. So some of the keys, Dandasana with the body, shoulders stacked. Think a spiral staircase, so you need to find the grounding of the hips. Hips try not to shift. Trying to find articulation through the spine. When we move into the twist, we'll have you come back to the twist. So turning to the right. You find the inhale to lengthen, and the exhale is you might find depth or movement. Okay, let's come back to center together, and let's start. So coming back to face the wall there, Claire, so you'll do it from the side position. Good, I'll do it from the center. Let's pull the flesh of the bum back to root through the sit bones. Allow the hands to rest gently on towards the knees. And this is that moment that you recapture your breath in and out through the nose or the mouth. You let the belly be soft. You're not trying to contract the core. We want to find space on the outside and the inside of the ribs. We want to find space on the inhale and the exhale between the vertebrae. As you close your eyes, I want you to visualize your spine. The spine has all those bones, but between the bones we have that cartilage, that space, that cushion. So it takes that shock of our walking forward, running. But more, I want you to visualize that cartilage with every inhale expanding like a balloon, and every exhale coming back to its neutral position. So not smushed, not sandwiching, but right back to where it rests. Inhale, you find length between the vertebrae, between the cartilage, and then the exhale is going to softening to neutral. Good. Let's take an inhale, lift the arms up, so shoulders in line with wrist, roll the shoulders onto the back, lean slightly into the pelvis. So you feel those sit bones being that strong, grounded position. Let's bring the right hand to the left shoulder and the left hand to the right shoulder, elbows lifted. I'm just going to do gentle rotation to the right on the inhale. Exhale, come to center. And on the inhale, come towards the left. I have to do that again. So just drop the arms there, Claire. Let's take an inhale, lift the arms up.
To shoulder root.
Yeah. Inhale, lift the arms up. Exhale, relax. Let's bring the right hand to the left shoulder and the left hand to the right shoulder. Inhale, you find space. Exhale, twisting gently to the right. Keeping that left hip pulling back, right shoulder onto the spine. Inhale brings you back. Exhale, slight twist towards the left. Right hip pulling back, left shoulder dropping onto the spine. Take the inhale to come back. Exhale to the right. Inhale back to center. Exhale to the left. Good. Inhale to center. Exhale, drop the hands down. Let's grip in front of the knees. Take an inhale, open the chest, look all the way up. Exhale, round the spine. So cat-cow in a seated position. Doing 2 more. Inhale, pull the chest up, open. Exhale, close, and drop into the body. Last one, breath in. And breath out. And tent the fingertips. Let's take the feet long in front of us, coming into a Tadasana position, moving the flesh of the bum back. Zip the right foot, take the right foot over the left. So a different version of our twist. I'm just going to anchor through the left heel just like we do so that you're active through the left leg, bringing the hands, interlock the hands below the knees. Hug the knee a little closer, push through the right foot, left heel, roll the shoulders down. So you're in a version of Tadasana just with the right leg bent. And you're going to stay. You're going to pull the left heel away from you, drop through the shoulders, lift through the head, create that space. And gently around to release. Tent the fingertips, unwind the right leg, pull the left knee in, drop the left foot across. Anchor through the foot. Good. Pull the left hip forward, right hip back. Extend through the right leg, flex the right toes. Interlock the hands below the left knees. You're hugging towards center. And this will start to help pull that left hip in. It wants to roll out. It wants to let go towards the back. This is where we need to build the muscles of our back body, pushing through the left foot, right heel. Draw the shoulders down the back. So the grip through the hands, you're actively using that contraction to let go of the belly and the face. Again, imagining the space between the vertebrae on the inhale, falling back to neutral on the exhale. Inhale first. Exhale, gently unwind. Take that left leg forward. Bring the hands beside you and kind of just flush out the legs. Okay. We're going to continue with the legs long. Let's pull the right knee in towards our body. Take the right foot over top. Anchor through the sit bones so they pull behind your body. Interlock the hands below the knees and find that starting position. Good. So we're going to start on the right. And why we start on the right is as we look at our kind of intestines, they move up from the belly towards the right rib, across the ribs, down the left side of the body into the colon for elimination. So twists are really good for digestion, right? So that's kind of what we're trying to wring out the organs, wring out the kind of intestines, and then that can help if we have digestive issues. But it's just a really good cleansing position. But we got to start with that foundation, that Tadasana start, pushing through the right foot, extend through the left heel. Okay. Now we're going to keep the left hand on the front of that right shin. Drop the right hand beside you. Take that inhale for a long spine. Exhale, turn the chest towards the right. And the right shoulder is going to roll down the back. Notice that the left hip came with you. Tuck that left hip back, almost pull that left heel in. You might see a shortening of the belly. It's kind of what you want. You want a wringing out of the belly. Chin is in line with the sternum, so you're not moving the chin back yet in line with the shoulder. You're trying to keep everything together. Good. Let's take a breath in. So we lengthen from the top of the head, and the exhale is that rotation. Remember, our rotation is through the exhale. Oh, I felt that, a little kind of crack. And then take an inhale. Exhale, move from the thoracic spine, which is the middle of the spine. Keep that anchor through the hips. Let's do one more inhale, that long space. From that long space on the exhale, kind of rotate through it. All right, let's slowly come back to center. Let's pull both knees up and in towards the chest and hug the legs, bringing the hands around the elbows to round through the back, drop the forehead down. Drop the fingertips, extend the legs out long. Let's come into the other side. So pull the right knee towards you, drop the right foot down, or is it the opposite? Left foot. Yeah, left foot. Extend through the right. Anchor through the pelvis, pulling the flesh of the bum back, and then there's that open chest. So always start where you can find a grounded position. It's almost that you're tucking the right leg in towards the pelvis, engage through the core. It's not a passive pose. It's a pretty active position. Lock into the breath because the breath is your guide to how deep and when you twist. Good. Take a breath in and take a breath out. Okay, so Claire's going to leave her right hand onto the knee. Drop the left fingertips down. Don't twist yet. Take that inhale first to lengthen through the spine. Good. And now exhale, twist from the ribs. So it feels like I'm rolling the flesh around the middle of your body towards the front of the body. Good. Chin in line with the sternum. Good. Every breath in, you find that space. On the exhale, maybe move through the depths. So let the action come from the right shoulder. Let the left hip keep pulling into the socket. Good. Let's do one more long breath in together. Long exhale out. Good. Slowly come back to center. Good. Let's pull the knees in towards the chest and we round through the back. So think about the cat spine. We're trying to articulate the spine in all those directions, right? The spine is this beautiful, very important structure of our body. Okay, let's come back to a seated position. So before we go deeper, let's stay in our cross-legged position, bringing the hands in front of the knees. Let's take an inhale to lift all the way up, look up. So there's our back bend, our chest opener. Chest lifts, we look up towards the ceiling. There's that slight round of the back. Good. And exhale, come back to neutral. So let the belly soften. Take the arms out long like we started with breath in. On the exhale, turn towards the right. Keep tugging that left hip back. Drop the left hand down in front of the right knee. Drop the right fingertips down. Shoulders away from the ears. Breath in long through the spine, not pulling the shoulders up. Exhale, bend the elbows, twist. Now carry the chin towards the right shoulder pulling back, left hip pulling the opposite direction, right? So the shoulder pulls back, the left hip pulls back. Okay. Take a breath. Take a breath out, get a little bit deeper. Good. The inhale pulls you back, bring the arms in line with the shoulders. Kind of feels like you recoil back, like a spring. Take a breath. Exhale, rotate to the left, not dropping the arms yet. Now drop the hand down, because that's where your range of motion is. Drop the left fingertips down. Take a breath in to lengthen through spine, not shoulders. Exhale, find that rotation. So instead of this coming forward, I'm going to pull the right hip back, bend the elbows, maybe take the chin towards the left shoulder. So my eyes are kind of circling in that rotation. Good. So moving from that pose, finding space first. On the exhale, you're using that space to get deeper into your twist. Beauty, right? So then the cervical spine, which is attached to the neck, gets involved. Let's take one more breath in. And on the exhale, lift the arms, recoil back to center. Good. Drop the hands down. Let's exhale, round the back, drop the chin. And take an inhale, lift all the way up. Last set. Let's take the legs out long. So Tadasana with the legs, pull the flesh of the bum back, or seated staff pose. Lift the right foot, take the right foot over. So position so that the right foot can stay planted. Left heel, flex and spread through the toes. Good. This time, we're going to take the right elbow, or the inside of the elbow, and wrap it around, the left, wrap it around the right knee. Lefts and rights. Ooh. Drop the right fingertips down. Now you're going to stay centered. This is going to be the tricky part. Stay centered. Take a breath. Exhale, get deeper into your twist. You're trying to hug the belly towards the thigh. The thigh is pulling in towards you. Left hip back, right shoulder back. Look towards the chin. So eventually, we look at these lines of the body, right? So this line is coming towards you, towards the front. The hip is going to stay in the line facing me. Good. There's a rotation to find inhale, lengthen. Exhale, she's going to hug closer. She's going to move that chin a little further based on her range of motion. Good. Stay for that exhale out. Stay for that inhale in. Exhale out. And then the inhale, she uncoils or recoils back. Yeah, nice. Now let's stretch the right leg forward. Cross the left leg over top. So showing it from my perspective, anchor through. Good. We're going to hug the right against the left. So notice how the thigh can get closer. There's a flexion in the hip. Keep that left hip pulling forward, right hip back. Breath in. Exhale, find your rotation. Pull the left shoulder onto the spine. Think about the chest facing the left. So it's kind of your goal, the sternum. You don't have to get there, but there's the rotation through. Once you see the left side of the room, take a breath. Exhale, move the chin towards the shoulder, roll the shoulders down. Right, so I'm anchored. I'm like in my staircase with my hips facing forward. I'm using my shoulders. I'm rotating through the spine. All of that's coming towards the right. Breath in. Breath out. Slowly on the inhale, come all the way back. Good, drop the hands down. Let's bring the soles of the feet together. Interlock the hands around the toes and find a drop or a forward fold towards your feet. Okay, closing it up with our Sukhasana, or seated position, our final twist before Claire slows us down into a longer Shavasana and a twist on the ground. Soften through the shoulders, chin parallel with the floor. Inhale, lift the arms up. Exhale, rotate towards the right. Drop the right fingertips, left hand outside the right knee, and take a breath. Exhale into your rotation. Inhale, you find length. Exhale, depth of your twist. Inhale, come back. The arms sweep in line with the shoulders slightly lifted. Breath in. Exhale, rotate as far as to the left as you can. Drop the right hand, drop the left fingertips. Inhale, breath. Exhale, find your rotation. So you're using the hand on the knee as you start to move the chin closer towards the shoulder, maybe using the eyeballs to look over the left shoulder, right? So stretching through the occipital nerves. You're squaring the pelvis towards center. You're finding the depth of the breath. Breath in. Breath out. Inhale, let's come all the way back to center. Let's let the hands rest onto the legs. Bow gently to your body. Now it's normal to feel a little gassy after that. Sorry, but we're by ourselves. I know that it's the phobia of every yoga class, but that's normal. Your body is this like moving organism. So when we start to move, think left and then the right side, so we can move through the digestive system. Right to the left. Sorry, right to the left. Yeah, right to the left. I have problems with rights and lefts, if you haven't noticed. So right to left, so we're moving up and across and down into the colon. So burping and farting, those things could happen, and you're kind of by yourself. Even if you're in a class, it happens all the time. Who cares? But that's just indicating your body is getting rid of some like effervescence and some like bubbles. So we're just trying to wring the body out. And so our seated twist, which if you're doing a practice and you're just kind of waking up, warm up first with one of Claire's warm-ups, and then allow the twist to happen. Yeah. And so I'm going to give it to Claire, and Claire's going to close this off. I'll see you next time. Bye.
Thanks, Joan. That was super energizing. We're going to take it down, more of that grounding pose. So staying in our seated position. If you like your legs crossed, do that. Otherwise, bring your legs out. Closing the eyes. Just bring your hands, palms facing up. Really connecting to that earth or that root chakra, bringing us back down to earth. We have that twist through the sacral chakra and the solar chakra and the heart chakra, even the throat chakra, up to the crown. And I love what Joan said, that pull, that stationary at the top and that stationary at the bottom. So imagine the root chakra, or like the bottom of our spine, grounding into the earth, pulling that line all the way up to our crown chakra, and then cementing through the heavens. And then we have that line of energy. So our spine is super important for vitality. It determines how old we feel. And sometimes maybe in the morning we wake up and we feel like 1,000 years old. But if we keep working our spine, we're going to feel younger for a lot longer. Well, imagine, just ground through that root chakra, right through that spine, moving up in that spiral motion Joan was talking about, through the sacral chakra, our digestive system, our sexual organs, into our solar chakra, just below the lungs, to our heart chakra, more of our lungs and our heart, spiraling through our throat chakra, and then in through our head, to our third eye, and then all the way to that other grounding point, our crown chakra, into the universe. And then we can connect that line. Imagine that straight line, and we're going to have 3 long breaths, connecting either for what you need, through the grounding, through the root chakra, or connecting through the crown chakra, the energizing area above our head. Taking what you need, 3 long breaths. Beautiful. We're going to slowly come on to our back body. Just taking your time. Keeping our knees bent back on the floor. Hips or feet hip-width distance apart. Knees, everything relaxing and melting into the floor. Pushing through our feet, just lifting our hips up, shaking our hips out, wiggling that bum. And then we're going to bring our hips to the left as we drop our knees to the right into this twist. You can maintain your gaze looking up at the ceiling or bringing into our cervical spine into the mix by taking our head and gazing to the left or the opposite direction as our knees. And then just pause. I love how this feels. If this is too much, always coming back to somewhere that makes it feel comfortable, maybe a fetal position. Take a deep inhale through the nose. Sigh that out through the mouth. If you're looking in the opposite direction, just bring your head up first, gazing back at the ceiling. Then your knees come up, planting the feet onto the floor. Lifting up through those hips, shaking it out. And then bring your hips to the right this time. Dropping your knees to the left. And then bringing your neck into vault if you want, gazing in the opposite direction of your knees and pause. Gaze comes back first. Take a deep inhale through the nose. Sigh it out through the mouth. Knees come back through center, planting through the feet to lift the hips one last time, shaking it out. Drop the hips. Lengthen the left leg and then the right leg into that Shavasana position. Taking up as much space as you can. And while we're in this Shavasana position, feeling that reverberations of those twists moving through our whole body. That connection of heaven or that universe to earth. Connecting us to our whole body, our systems, our cells, our muscles and bones. And then letting that whole entire practice go. I'm going to be here for 1 full minute, connecting to your own breath. Take a deep inhale through the nose. That last sigh out through the mouth. And then when you're ready, rolling to either your right or left side into that fetal position, taking a pause. Pushing through the hands, come up to that seat and class together. Bringing our left hand onto our heart and our right hand on top of our left. Thank you so much for practicing with us today. From our spines to your spines, our sages to yours. Have an amazing rest of your day into the week. Namaste.